Hello everyone and welcome to Rodan Man's Reviews. So today we're taking a look at the Marvel Legends Storm and Thunderbird. This is the Target exclusive pack that just came out fairly recently. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. We'll slide Thunderbird a little bit to the side here and go ahead and take a look at Miss Storm. So taking a look at Storm, she's got, as you can tell, she's got kind of the classic look for Storm. She did come with some, some accessories, and we're going to get into that as well. But she's kind of got the classic look that Storm had when she was initially in the comics. The costume that's kind of exposes her midriff there a little bit, and has almost like a bathing suit look to it, and then these kind of long boots. And this cloak that's kind of separated in the back, or cape or what have you, that's kind of separated in the back, as well as this kind of headdress thing going on right here, tiara, whatever you want to call it. I happen to like this look of the figure quite a bit. I like this early days of Storm look. As far as articulation, her arms do go out to a 90-degree. She bends at the elbows, but she doesn't have the double joints at the elbows. Both wrists, of course, have the twist to them. She looks down. She can't really look that far up because of the hair. She crunches a little bit forward, a little bit back. Not the best crunch I've ever seen, but she does go forward. She's got a swivel right here on both of her thighs. There we go. So that, and then, but she does have the double joint at her knees, at her legs. So there we go. Double joint for that leg. Double joint. Pardon me, it's a little new, so she's kind of stiff still. But so yeah, we do get the double joints at both of the legs for her. We also get the feet point down, feet point up. We've also got peg holes right there on both of the feet. So overall, a really great look. As far as paint apps, she looks killer. I love how they did the hair. It's almost like it's got some little bit of very, very light highlighting in there just to keep it from looking too just so it's not too white looking, just so you can kind of, tell there's like a texture to it or what have you. But it's a very cool figure. I like this figure a lot. We do, like I said, we do have some accessories that come with Storm. So just taking a look at those. So we've got an extra Storm head, right? So there we go. We've also got a set of hands that are in fists, right? Not really gripping hands, just, she fell off the thing. Just like fisted hands, right? So we've got those, and then we've got also these hands that have kind of like electricity coming off of them. Right, and then we also get an extra cape for her that's kind of got this, like kind of billowy look that goes along. I feel like the other head kind of goes with this other cloak a little better. So we'll go ahead and take it off, and I'll let you guys see that. So we'll pop this off. We'll pop off the current cape. Put on the billowy cape along with her billowy head. And there we go. So yeah, she's got the hair flowing once again. Really cool how they did the hair. I like that. I love the face on both of the sculpts. The face looks really good. I love the eyes. And just overall a really cool looking figure. And then again, like I said, we do have I'll go ahead and pop these electricity hands on here so you guys can take a look at those. So there we go. We pop these hands off. And then we'll pop this hand on. If it'll go on, which I know it will. There we go. So yeah. So we've got Storm kind of shooting electricity out of both of her hands, right? As she was apt to do in the comics. So overall, just a great figure. Like I said, I really like this this kind of classic version of Storm. I'd like to get a classic version of all of the X-Men. You know, classic Wolverine with his costume when he first started with the X-Men and so on. So I was really excited to get this pack just because it has a couple of the oldest versions of these X-Men. Now, we'll go ahead and pull Storm off here. Highly recommend picking this pack up. You know, even the Storm alone is worth the price of admission as far as I'm concerned. And then we've got Thunderbird, right? So Thunderbird, as we know, had a very short stint with the X-Men. Unfortunately, he was killed off pretty early in the comics, and he is the older brother. He's John Proudstar. He is the older brother of one James Proudstar, who, as we know, later on became Warpath. So, taking a look at him, so he's got the arms that do the 90-degree. He does have a swivel at both biceps, right? He's got a double joint at both arms. Of course, the hands swivel. He's got some pretty decent head movement here. Of course, he goes side to side. He can look up a little bit. You know, it's because, I mean, he's got the long hair, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't impede him from looking up as much. And then, of course, he can look down, right? He's got the ab crunch, really good ab crunch, forward and backward. We've got a thigh swivel, right, on both of the legs, so there's that. We also have a double joint on both of the knees, so he's good there. And then, of course, the feet point down. The feet can point back up, right? About the only gripe that I have with his costume, and the costume looks great, by the way. I mean, it looks like the classic iteration of Thunderbird. The only issue that I have is, you know, he's got these kind of like the little tassel things or whatever they are that kind of hang on his boots. And I don't know if you guys noticed that. It's happened a couple times since I started reviewing. They kind of slide, they kind of fall. You got to kind of push them up. They don't, I mean, they stay as long as you're not fidgeting with them too much, but yeah, they have the tendency to fall. He does have this belt that's a separate piece. It slides up and down, but you can't remove it. Of course, he's got the bandana on his head with the feathers, and that looks really cool, right? And then he's got the mask over his eyes. A really cool looking figure. Again, no issue as far as the paint apps that I can tell. Really like the figure quite a bit. If I have one gripe about, or maybe one other gripe besides the tassels, that's not really a big deal for me, though. I mean, it's definitely not a deal killer. I'm glad to have picked this figure up. But the only other thing that I would say that I wish they had done is, you know, he didn't, with the Storm figure, as you guys saw, we got a lot of accessories. We got 3 sets of hand, we got 2 heads, you know, 2 separate heads. We got 2 separate capes for Storm, which is fine. That's great. I love Storm, and I'm glad that, you know, we got all that. But with Thunderbird, we got nothing. You know, we got Thunderbird. That was it. I would have liked to have seen maybe at least an extra set of hands. I wasn't really so worried about, you know, like an extra head for the guy or anything like that. But like some fisted hands. These are kind of like you guys can see, these are kind of like the semi-closed where he can grip something. So there's that, but he didn't really I wish he kind of had some semi-open hands and then some closed, like a hand, like fisted hands, but it is what it is. We didn't really get anything else with Thunderbird aside from just Thunderbird himself. Still a great character. I always liked him in the comics. Too bad that he had such a short stint with the X-Men. But yeah, he lived on through his brother a little later on. So on that note, I'll go ahead and compare him to his brother. So if we look at him compared to Warpath, you can see that Warpath is just a little bit, he's just a little bit taller than Thunderbird. You know, Warpath's a little bit bigger. I think that Warpath in the comics, just his strength level was a little greater than his older brothers, and just some of his powers were just a little, you know, he was like a little more enhanced version of Thunderbird. So, very happy to have, in fact, both of these figures. I love Native American culture, so, you know, and I've always liked both of these characters, and I've always really loved Warpath. So I was really happy to get both of these. Happy that we got a really cool figure of Thunderbird. So that's how he stands next to Warpath. He's just a little bit shorter than, about a half a head shorter. Maybe about, probably less than a half an inch, maybe a quarter of an inch or so shorter than Warpath. And then I will go ahead and compare Storm. So there we go. There's Storm again with her wild hair and her electricity hands. I will go ahead and compare her with the most recent iteration that we got of the other Marvel Legends Storm that we got, with the costume that's not really a Storm costume, but looks like it probably could have been. I don't recall that she... And if any of you guys know, feel free to call me out on it and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't think this was ever a costume for Storm in the comics. I mean, it totally looks like something that she would wear in the movies or in the comics, but I don't think it was ever anything that she wore. And if you look at them, it looks like our newer Storm is just a little bit taller than the other Storm that we got earlier this year or last year, whenever it was. I think it might be for two reasons. I think maybe the hair is just a little bit higher for the newer Storm, and then the newer Storm has these kind of heels on, you know? She got these high heels on that make her just a little bit taller, and then this Storm doesn't have that. She just kind of has like boots with no heels. So the new Storm is just barely a little bit taller than the Storm we got earlier this year or last year, whenever this one came out. The other one, this old one, came out. So yeah, guys, honestly, if you get the chance to pick these up, I know these are a Target exclusive right now, 2-pack. I think there's something around 30 or 40 bucks. This was actually gotten for me as a gift. So yeah, the Storm and Thunderbird Marvel Legends 2-pack, and I will go ahead and slide them both in frame here. So if you get a chance to pick them up, I definitely recommend them, especially if you're a fan of the classic version, of Storm, and if you're a fan of Thunderbird and just kind of the look of the old X-Men, I highly recommend picking them up. So, as always, guys, thank you for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. I'll see you all next video.